Guys, what is going on? Redmaster here, and welcome back to the episode of Cards and Castles TV commentary. Not much to really go off of this intro. There's been a couple of interesting decks over the past few weeks that have popped up on ladder since the last time we've done a Cards TV commentary. I know the last episode we had those brutal Minotaurs, and they have certainly been showing some of their strength with the Voyager combinations and a variety of green decks. But let's see what else we can find on the ladder today, and let's see what else is making its way through the competition. So with that being said, let's hop in to our first matchup. First matchup is going to be Shibby versus Osaka. I'm not going to try and butcher his whole name, so of course it's just going to be Osaka there. Shibby's got an interesting green-yellow going on. I know that's for sure. These colors have been on a little bit of a resurgence in the past few days, but Osaka rocking the green-white. Of course, druids not really being touched a whole lot, but we see they both throw out their sunflower. Shibby follows up with a Southport captain of his own. So he's got some sort of ramp potential. We can see the Grendels in his hand. He'll probably throw those out next turn. But we see Osaka with the sharpshooter. Sharpshooter has actually been seeing an interesting increase in play lately, and for good reason too. That range that he's got on him, incredible stuff. But anyway, both of them throw out a sharpshooter, which of course Osaka's will get the range first. A captain from Osaka as well. He'll weaken the flower a bit there with the sharpshooter finishing it off, of course, making sure that 3 last will damage doesn't hit the castle. It will not. However, that opens up Shibby to using his captain on the castle. Will he take the opportunity? He certainly will. Get a shot off on the castle for 2 damage and follows up with a Grendel, which will not... Okay, yes, it will smack the sunflower. Excuse me, I thought the sharpshooter was going to take a shot first, but Grendel smacks the sunflower. Gets brought down to 3 health. Call for aid from Osaka. Now he's got these 2 rangers in his hand, of course, both reduced to 0 gold. And uses reduced to 5 gold, I'm sorry. The 0 was the attack, which Captain now had thanks to the mugging, which opens him up to a sharpshooter kill. Divine Knowledge play from Shibby on his next turn, followed up by a Sunflower and Lumberjack to assert some board presence on the field. And we can see the green-yellow combination here. We start to see a little bit of it taking shape here. But Swordsman from Osaka will take out the Sunflower and the Grendel, meaning that buff from the Grendel actually goes to Sharpshooter, making it a lot more deadlier now at 4-5. We see a mugging in Shibby's hand. Will he do anything with that? He won't at the moment. He'll use the Divine Knowledge. Of course, that gets into 2 cards, Flux and Knight of Flowers. Dwarven Miner trades with the Sunflower. A mugging will go on the Dwarven Sharpshooter, and both Sharpshooters take a shot at each other, bringing them down to both 1 health each. Will they trade, though? Osaka with the mugging takes out Shibby's Sharpshooter. Follows up with that Northland Ranger being reduced to 5 gold for a from the Call for Aid spell card. Shibby low with a Flux. He's going to try and protect himself here, and a Grendel as well. Osaka probably should buff that Sharpshooter to clear out the Flux, though. Will he do it? He won't necessarily yet, or maybe not. Okay, he'll use the Sharpshooter shot on the Grendel. Sharpshooter number 2 we see positioned above the original one, and a Northland Ranger again below the original one. Flux hits the Ranger, gets Battle Rage and Deflecting Shield from that. He'll use that on the Grendel, I'm assuming for some draw purposes. He needs to see what cards he can get into his hand. He'll finish off the Ranger and giving the Sharpshooter number 1 or another buff for 4-3. Hit Osaka's second Sharpshooter powering up a bit there, and Leanna coming out as well. Those Spirit Link trees going to be quite an issue, because now you could think of the Spirit Link as giving any unit out there an additional 10 health, in a sense. Grendel with a Dwarven Scope now coming out. What will he hit with that Dwarven Scope? He'll hit the Ranger, which will kill one of these Spirit Trees directly. Battle Rage will take out the other one, but Shibby's going to have to surrender at that point, it looks like, because he can't really follow up his turn. And Osaka gets the opportunity. So we didn't really see the full match come to a conclusion, but we saw the power of Leanna's Spirit Link trees, and we saw how prominent Sharpshooters are becoming. The colors that Shibby was running, green-yellow, of course, again, like I said in the beginning, making a little bit of a resurgence in the meta competition. Their ability to draw from the Crusaders, big castle heals, we see Arbiter's Return. I wouldn't see it in his deck, but I know Arbiter's Return, Hands of the Saint, big heals. And with the green complementing the Crusaders, you have access to Drymoth possibilities. And Drymoth is a very scary unit. 9-12, Deflect, Castle Heal for 7, Stalwart, although Stalwart is Stalwart. So overall, we didn't really see a lot of what Shibby's deck could do, but Osaka very well executed in taking down that deck, had the right tools. Druids, man, if very becoming a pretty popular. I wouldn't say too popular. They're still a very small faction, a relatively new faction, but overall great stuff from both competitors. So with that being said, let's move on into match number 2. Next match, we'll see ydavidy take on RedSoul, not my alternate account. Anyway, we see that green-yellow combination again from David. He's probably playing a similar deck to what we saw Shibby play in the first matchup. However, RedSoul's not having it. He's coining out a Ice Drake early on. Interesting choice to coin out. ydavidy responds with a Master Thief. I'm going to call him David for now. Make things a little easier here. David responds with a Master Thief. However, RedSoul plays a Temple and a Shroud of the Red Cloaks to create a 3-6, now 3-5 Drake, successfully trading with that Master Thief. Lore Master from ydavidy. See, I kind of, when I say I'm going to call someone a different name, I usually don't. Anyway, trap from RedSoul. And he'll hit the castle for 3 damage, ignoring that Lore Master there, plus a Dragon Lore, so now we see he must have a reduced dragon in his hand, maybe, expecting maybe an early Dremoth, Aeroth, who knows. We see David with the Forbidden City draw, and the Hassan City Guards will activate a trap, and that's going to be the Might of the Minotaur trap, making the Ice Drake a 6-8. Not going to be able to trade with him. He'll use the Lore Master's attack to weaken the Ice Drake further. However, RedSoul needs to kind of quickly act on this to push up some Drakes. He will use Dragon Siege. Interesting choice of cards there to give both of his dragons an additional 2-3 there. We now see the Ice Drake up to 8-7, and the Faithful Drake coming in is now a 5-7. So Headless Horseman will hit the Dragon Temple. That's a pretty, maybe not the target he wanted to directly go for, but he'll use a Mugging plus a Hassan City Guard combination to take out the Ice Drake. However, that 4-6 Faithful Drake will be moving in very shortly. We see it hit the castle for 4 damage, and another one follows soon, or close by, I should say. Only a 2-3 though because of the loss of the Dragon Temple. David responds with a Master Thief, a Dread Pirate Robins, which will kill off the Faithful Drake, give him a +5 gold boost. He'll use that gold boost to play a House of Daggers plus School of Knowledge combination, and end his turn after not moving the Headless Horseman or Lore Master. Search for Truth from RedSoul. Interesting. He'll get his hand replenished there and some reduced dragons, although we don't know if he got a dragon. He may have, may not have, but interesting to see a dragon deck regardless. As a quick side note there. We see ydavidy using all of his card draw that he just got from the School of Knowledge to play an Arbiter's Return. Hitting the castle. Interesting choice that he hit the castle, though, not the Faithful Drake. He'll play Emergent State as well, move all of his guys up. Lumberjack Salahar coming out as well to reinforce his board presence, and that'll end David's turn. Of course, vicious building combinations that he's got here in the back. We see the Emergent State, School of Knowledge, Armory, all this stuff. Salahar hitting the Faithful Drake. Dragon Knight, of course, trading with that Salahar Rider to summon or to do damage to the Faithful Drake, and we see RedSoul powering up that other Faithful Drake to give us some armor to make sure it doesn't die too quickly and hopefully get him some draw in the process. We see Mercenary's Execution being played by David onto that Faithful Drake, takes it out, opening his castle up to 4 damage from the Headless Horseman, plus a Cockatrice and a Lumberjack, and I still can't pronounce that card for my life. Lore Master also takes a shot at the castle for 3, bringing it down to 8. 2 Hassan City Guards move up, plus the Merchant's Favor, and the Lumberjack to follow suit. So, David's presence here on the board, astounding. The buildings, the units, the buffed units at that, a little too much for RedSoul probably to handle here, but he'll keep fighting to the end. Cracks this, kills off the Lore Master Tarius, getting some extra draw, but ultimately he'll have to surrender due to the combination of buildings, buffing, drawing, gold gaining, and that hand. He was able to continually bring in cards to his hand. So we see that Greed is still a very prosperous deck. It hasn't died off yet. And with the resurgence of green-yellow into viable it never really left viable competition, but we see it more being used more on the ladder. We saw it with Shibby, now we saw it with David. Just vicious decks that can be made here and a little overpowering. Dragons wasn't the best combination to take on that deck. We did see some very great aggression. The Dragon Siege was a great play to sort of, push the aggression, but it ultimately wasn't enough, and we saw that's why sort of RedSoul failed. So, overall, not a bad matchup, although Dragon's not the best, not the strongest archetype right now to be on the ladder. But that being said, let's take a look at our final match for the day and see how it transpires. Final match here, we're going to bring you Yoshi versus Sam the G. Yoshi rocking the yellow-blue to start off his game with a lumberjack, while Sam is rocking the white-green and starting off his game with a metal bravery into a manfish to counteract that lumberjack. A little heavy for a lumberjack counter, but we see Yoshi responding with a Forbidden City. He'll draw 3 cards, Plea the Righteous, Lightning Blade, and Arbiter's Return. Good pulls, however, discards the Lightning Blade. Not what he wanted to see. He probably would have been better off discarding the Plea the Righteous. But let's see, Manfish takes out that Lumberjack. He'll get a Salahar Rider. Yoshi will get a Salahar Rider from the draw. And Sam follows up with a injured Trent. Of course, Trent, very solid card. For those of you who don't know me, I'm absolutely loving Trent as a card right now. But we see the Salahar Rider trading into the Manfish and dealing 2 damage over to the injured Trent. How will Sam take this time to respond? He'll play a Trap and keep the Trent on the castle for 3 additional damage. Yoshi responds with a Flux that he just drew. He'll hit the Trent with that, of course, dealing damage to bring him down to 1. But he'll get Vanishing Strike and Daggers from him. However, that activates the Seeds of Regrowth trap. Very, very solid spell, Seeds of Regrowth. Again, one of my favorite cards that I'm rocking right now. Headless Horseman comes in to counteract the Flux, and Trent takes another shot at the castle for 3 damage. Yoshi responds with a Banshee. He'll use that, plus a Vanishing Strike combination to take out the Trent and clear it off the board. However, that's going to open the castle up to a Headless Horseman strike. Let's see how Sam, again, takes this opportunity to deal damage to the castle. He'll hit with the Horseman and summon a Centaur for an additional 3 damage, totaling up to about 6 damage this turn on the castle. And Yoshi's in trouble at 8 HP left in the castle. He plays the Dagger Storm, hits the Headless Horseman, and the Centaur for 2. Banshee, of course, trading with the Centaur to get a Pulverize into his hand, and of course the Bleed finishing off the Headless Horseman without a problem. Sam, of course, then plays the Armory and Hassan City Guard combination to make sure he doesn't lose any board presence. And we see 2 3/2s about to charge his field. Arbiter's Return, though, from Yoshi, of course, powering up his castle back up to 18, and using the Arbiter to take out the Armory, leaving Sam's units at 2-1. Good decision to take out the Armory. Didn't want to leave that lingering. Sam responds by hitting the castle for 2 with a Hassan City Guard, summoning Spiny to hit another 2 damage off the castle, playing a Trap, and of course maneuvering his other Hassan City Guard into a better position. Yoshi, though, summons a Headless Horseman. He'll take out the Hassan City Guard that was on his castle, which triggers the Seeds of Regrowth trap yet again. Questing Knight plus Storm Strike, will actually, yeah. So Headless Horseman plus Storm Strike takes out the injured Trent, and Spiny trades with the Questing Knight. So Sam, again, he's going to keep chipping with that castle. We see Southport Captain coming in. We see a Sea Witch as well. Interesting to see Sea Witch in this type of deck. Yoshi will, though, will summon Craxus, hit the Hassan City Guard, and that armor will not deal any damage, thanks to armor's, what armor is. And Yoshi will not... I think he's getting a little bit of presence back, but we see Sam hitting the castle, summoning those 2 skeletons, which will hit castle again, plus a swordsman, so he's blocking off that Craxus from damaging the swordsman, and it summons a Banshee. So he's trying to really push aggression here. He's trying to, box Yoshi out of protecting his castle. However, Yoshi plays a Headless Horseman. That'll take out one of the Cursed Pirates. Trades with the Southport Captain. Spear Strike on Craxus. Craxus will hit the Swordsman and draw 2 additional cards from it. And a Berserker will take out the Sea Witch. So Yoshi, very good defense from him in protecting his castle. That little skeleton's probably not going to do too much damage, but we'll see what happens. Lumberjack for Sam's draw, meaning that Yoshi will get an additional card, that is Lightning Blade, and I don't think the card really helped him that much. We'll see what he draws from the Banshee. A Defective Flame Cannon. Oh, he did draw the Minotaur, though, from it, so he'll use that, clear out the Minotaur, no problem. And Yoshi can't draw, of course, his hand is currently full. 2 Knight of Flowers from Yoshi. 1 takes out, they didn't play a Plea the Righteous first, which gives both of those flowers resolve as well. 1 trades with the Minotaur, another 1 takes out the Skeleton Pirate, Cursed Skeleton, whatever it's called nowadays. Sam responds with a Rat Infested Hovel, can't really do much else, allowing those Knight of Flowers to get that Awakened buff. We see it now at 4-3. Reclaim from Yoshi, of course, taking the Hovel for himself. Interesting use of the rat hovel. So now Sam needs to focus on taking out a bunch of different threats without getting any support. He uses the deflective flame cannon to kill off the Master at Arms, not wanting that buff to happen. Dancing Swords takes out the hovel, leaving, of course, the other 2 units alone. And now, what is Yoshi going to do here? Will he strike Castle? He's got 2 black in his hand. He plays one of them, power his knights up to 5, and plays the second one to bring his units up to 6 attack each. However, the Lightning Blade goes on one of them to end the game right there. So, overall, very well done from Yoshi. We saw he was on the brink a few times, but able to come back thanks to his massive card hand. Interesting though, I don't think the white-green is meant for that type of rush, and there were definitely a bunch of odd cards that, you know, maybe don't fit well together, but then again, Druids are, of course, a relatively new faction, so they are being experimented with all across the board, so people are trying to see what works, what doesn't work, and that deck clearly did not work for our friend Sam there. But overall, very strong match to show off that a blue-yellow can win. Don't know if it was War Party. I didn't see it. I don't think I saw War Party in his hand. Correct me if I'm wrong, though, in the comment section below. But yeah, overall, very strong matches today, and a very strong showing from all players, of course, who were featured on Cards TV. With that being said, guys, that's going to end off today's TV commentary video. If you guys did enjoy, please be sure to leave a like on the video, share with your friends, and comment down below your thoughts on today's matches. And with that being said, I really don't have much else to say from my end. No promos, no announcements, no nothing from me. So, with that being said, until next time, guys, stay gaming.